you're doing? My name is Andres Ochoa, and for today's speech, my topic is why 90s cars and below should be smog exempt. Now, picture this. You're driving your 1990 Toyota Corolla to get a smog because your tags are due. You go inside, hand him your keys and your registration, and he looks at it and goes, "Sorry, you can't smog your car here." And you're like, "Why?" Because your car's too old. We don't have the proper equipment to smog older vehicles, only from 2000s and up. That's the reality of a lot of people who still hold on and drive these older vehicles in today's world. Cars that are from the 90s and older, they're not the main cause or the main problem or the main reason why there's a lot of pollution in the world today. There's still major pollutions from big factories and companies who are cutting corners. So we're going to be looking into that a little bit. And also, a lot of people drive older cars because they can't simply go out and afford new vehicles. If they could, we probably would go buy a new Toyota Corolla or Camry or a nice new pickup truck with all the nice bells and whistles with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's just times are tough and it's really expensive out there in the world today. So first, the main problem. Older cars get blamed a whole lot for the reasons why they cause a lot of pollution. People might think you go out there, turn your car on, and you're polluting the earth. Well, according to Lemm's Law, last access in 2025, these classic cars are infrequently driven, carefully maintained, and make up only a fraction of cars on the road today. So when you go out there and drive on the road today, there is a lot of 90s and below, like older cars that you see on the road that are infrequently driven because only people are driving left are people who like to drive these classic cars or older cars, and also the people who can't afford to buy newer vehicles, so they stick with their older vehicle that they have in today's world. So if that's the case, what's really causing it? The real problem are a lot of people these days are going out there and buying newer vehicles and driving them and commuting them a lot in today's world and putting a lot of miles. Also, big trucks and big trucker companies are the ones causing or driving a lot of miles, causing more pollutions in the vehicle and automotive industry today. The EPA states transportation accounts for about 28% of the total U.S. greenhouse gases. Emissions last updated April 6, 2026. This means only 28% of total pollution is coming from cars, big rigs, and things like that in general. So that's only barely a little more than a quarter of the U.S. emissions. So there's a lot of other pollution that's going on within U.S. that is significantly more than the automotive industry. Like, for example, there is with major companies like Amazon, UPS, FedEx, just major companies that deal with driving, delivering packages and whatnot. Those ones also do take an effect. So now let's fix this the right way. What are some problems or some solutions we can help with people that drive these older vehicles? We can just exempt 90s and below cars from ever need smog. It'll help people relieve a lot of stress, it'll just help them out a lot in general. They will save a lot of money and not have to worry about these cars that are being smog, because like I said, they are barely on the road today, and you hardly ever see them. Some people think that'll make the pollution a lot worse, but in fact they're not really seen on the road today. And also for the fact that a lot of people have major commutes and long drives that have to go work and back and do their daily duties every day. So those people would automatically assume those older vehicles are more unreliable and unethical for their use, so they'll just stick to their new modern vehicles with better technologies and whatnot. Let's see. The EPA states vehicles miles traveled by light-duty motor vehicles increased by 47% from 1990 to 2022. Last updated March 10th, 2026. This shows that daily drivers matter more than just older cars, because like I said, a lot of people drive a lot more miles today, so they would want a more reliable, more newer vehicle for them to get to point A, point B, the daily commutes, so on and so forth. So to finish this whole summary of this speech today, older cars are not the main problem of the whole cause of this pollution in today's society in this world. Pollution comes from major bigger sources, and exempting older cars would really go above and beyond and help those people that aren't in need and just need to save some money. We shouldn't keep putting pressure on people just trying to get by. They don't have enough as it is. That's why they're kind of, sometimes people are forced to drive these older vehicles because that's all they can afford. We need to focus on the real problem, like major companies that are cutting corners and causing more pollution in the air than any other source of greenhouse gases in today's society. So something small and little, like old cars that you hardly see on today's road, shouldn't be a big deal. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to go out there, get their car smog, and fail emissions because their car's too old or just not passed at all. Thank you guys for watching.